You got 9 good things this week and 1 bad one, and tonight you are replaying only the bad one. A stranger's cold 2-line message can bury the memory of 10 people who thanked you the exact same afternoon. Take Daniel, a 31-year-old engineer who shipped a difficult project last month. 14 people told him the work was excellent. Exactly 1 person told him it was sloppy. Guess which sentence he memorized? He can quote this single criticism at 2 in the morning, comma for comma, in the exact flat voice he imagines it was written in. The 14 moments of praise have blurred into a generic, weightless memory. He assumes that 1 cruel line was the only honest piece of feedback, and the kind ones were just manners. He is wrong. Daniel is running the oldest biological accounting error in the human head, and until he audits it, that error will quietly run his whole life. So, how much heavier is bad news, exactly? Is this simply a mood or a phenomenon we can measure with real numbers? It is a number. In 2001, a psychologist named Roy Baumeister reviewed hundreds of studies and found a lopsided pattern everywhere he looked. In money, in parenting, in first impressions, and in love, bad feedback reliably shapes a person far more than good feedback. Psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky mapped exactly how humans make decisions, identifying a principle they called loss aversion. If we look at this scale graphic, we can see the exact math. Losing $10 hurts roughly twice as much as finding $10 feels good. Offer people a clean coin flip where heads wins 150 and tails loses 100, and most refuse it. The possible loss looms twice as large. As the scale morphs to represent human relationships, the math gets even steeper. Psychologist John Gottman watched couples argue for 15 minutes and found the exact ratio required for a relationship to survive. 1 cold moment of contempt takes 5 gestures of warmth, a joke, a real question, a moment of agreement, just to bring the scale back to level. If you spend all day being ordinary to yourself and 1 moment being cruel, you do not break even, because your internal ledger is biologically rigged. Treating your interactions as a 1-to-1 exchange means you are operating in constant emotional debt. Why would nature build a brain that actively punishes you for your own good news? Set 2 early ancestors side by side in the grass. One hears a sudden rustle and shrugs it off. The other hears the exact same rustle and flinches every single time. 99 times out of 100, it is only the wind, but the 100th time, it is a predator. The ancestor who shrugged is killed. We are the descendants of a long line of anxious warriors, people who survived by being wrong about danger 1,000 times, so they could be right once. The threat brain is built around a small structure called the amygdala. Its primary job is to file bad events into long-term memory almost instantly, ensuring you never forget a potential danger. The danger has changed, but the alarm has not. The predator in the grass is gone. In its place is a curt email or a left-on-read text. Yet your amygdala runs the exact same 5-alarm chemical response that it once ran for a physical attack. The inner critic telling you that you aren't enough is not delivering objective truth. It is a prehistoric survival alarm wearing the mask of your own voice. 2,000 years before we could see this alarm on an MRI machine, ancient leaders were actively managing their rigged scales. Every morning, before the flattery and the demands of the day reached him, Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius sat and wrote to himself. He deliberately rehearsed meeting ungrateful and dishonest people, arguing himself back to his own principles before the world could tilt his scale. Seneca used a similar discipline. He made a habit of living as if a better man were watching him. By keeping that ideal standard in mind, a stray insult from a lesser person carried significantly less weight. The Stoics relied on a tool modern psychologists call reappraisal. They would picture the whole earth from a great height, taking in crowds and cities, until their own localized emergency shrank back down to a tiny dot. This discipline does not deny that bad things happen. It is an active refusal to let the bad dictate the day's exchange rate. Deliberate gratitude and reappraisal can sound like soft self-help, but modern brain scans show hard physical machinery at work. In this diagram of the human brain, we see what happens when people practice genuine gratitude. The medial prefrontal cortex, the brain's deliberate value-weighing center, lights up. You are pulling a mechanical lever to actively reprice an experience. As this reasoning center warms up, scans catch the deeper amygdala region, the prehistoric alarm, visibly cool down in real time. The deliberate part of the brain physically outvotes the panic. This means intentional gratitude is not a mood you fake. Every time you stop and name something that went right, you are making a manual deposit into a biological account that refuses to fund itself. You must appoint yourself the accountant of your own mind. When one cruel line lands and tries to ruin your evening, do not pretend it away. Stop and physically list 5 specific good things. Name the friend who checked in, the hard conversation you finished, the quiet work you shipped. Give the biological debt 5 real entries to balance the scale. You will not feel instantly wonderful. That was never the point. The point is that you are guaranteeing you do not sign off on a rigged audit. A strong mind knows exactly how its biology cheats. It acknowledges that the internal scale is built for a world that no longer exists, and chooses to do the harder, honest arithmetic anyway.